Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. Typically, when people mention the children of Abraham, they often only cite the first two, Ishmael and Isaac. However, it's interesting to note that Abraham had other children. After the death of his beloved wife Sarah, he remarried a woman named Keturah. Even in his advanced age, Abraham had 6 more children with Keturah. Few people are aware of or discuss this lesser-known aspect of Abraham's life. It is interesting to note that, after Sarah's death, Abraham continued his family journey, expanding his descent with Keturah and giving her a significant role in his history, and it is these people that we will discuss in today's video. The origin of the Midianites. The name Keturah means, she who is perfumed or she who is fragrant. After marrying Keturah, Abraham had 6 children named Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. These children soon married, producing many descendants and resulting in the formation of the Midianite people or the Keturite people, composed of 6 Arabian tribes. These tribes were all called Midianites, but each had its own name. The 6 Arabian tribes were the Zimranites, Jokshanites, Medanites, Midianites, Ishbakites, and Shuaites, originating from the union of Abraham and Keturah, contributing to the diversity and richness of Semitic descent. Following the Zimranites, Jokshanites, Medanites, Midianites, Ishbakites, and Shuaites, the 3 resulting Arabian tribes correspond to present-day Saudi Arabia. The Midianites ethnically had a slightly sun-kissed, yellowish skin tone, a characteristic inherited from Keturah, a Semitic Arabian woman, and Abraham, a pure Semite. A little-known curiosity is that the Midianites and the Ishmaelites were considered together, maintaining strong trade and fraternal ties. These tribes played an important role in the region, sharing not only a genetic origin but also the Aramaic language and script. The Nabatean Aramaic was the language and script of the Ishmaelites, while the Midianite Aramaic was used by the Midianite people, solidifying their cultural and historical proximity. The history of the Midianites intertwines with the Israelites in various biblical events, as seen in Numbers chapters 22 to 25. I will mention some of these events. The first is the Baal Peor apostasy. The Israelites were camped in the plains of Moab, and Balak, the king of Moab, feared the power of the Israelites. He sought the help of Balaam, a non-Israelite prophet, to curse the Israelites. However, God intervened and turned Balaam's curses into blessings. Meanwhile, some Midianite women began to seduce the Israelite men into participating in festivities dedicated to the god Baal Peor. This apostasy involved the worship of idols and immoral practices. The second event concerns divine wrath and a plague in which God became angry with the unfaithfulness of the Israelites and ordered Moses to take action. Moses summoned the leaders of Israel and, under God's guidance, instructed that those who had participated in the apostasy be killed. During this time, an Israelite man brought a Midianite woman into the camp, defying the divine order. In response to this disobedience, Phinehas, an Israelite priest, took a spear and killed both the Israelite man and the Midianite woman. The divine plague, which had started as punishment, ceased after this act. After these events, the third event began, which is the war against Midian. God commanded Moses to wage war against the Midianites as additional punishment. Moses assembled an army of 12,000 men, 1,000 from each tribe, and led the military campaign. The Israelites attacked Midian, killed all the men, including 5 Midianite kings, and captured women, children, and livestock as spoils of war. After the victory over the Midianites, the fourth event began, in which the Israelites brought the spoils of war, including the captured women and children. Moses was angered with the army commanders for allowing the women, associated with the apostasy, to survive. The virgin women were spared and distributed among the Israelites, and the rest of the spoils were divided between the soldiers and the rest of the community. These events marked a period of intense conflicts between the Israelites and the Midianites, shaping the narrative of the relationship between these two peoples in biblical tradition. An intriguing curiosity about the Midianite people, descendants of Abraham and Keturah, is their connection to notable figures like Caleb, a friend of Joshua, and Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses. Both were descendants of Keturah. Jethro, being a Midianite priest, stands out as an example of how belief in the Almighty God, the God of Abraham, was not limited to the Israelites but also extended to other peoples descended from Abraham, in this case, the Arabian tribes. It is worth mentioning that Jethro, despite being a Midianite, shared the same faith in the God of Abraham. We have a video about him on our channel if you'd like to learn more about him. Jethro played a crucial role in instructing Moses about Abraham, the Hebrew people, their lineage, and even about genetic relationships. This transmission of knowledge reveals that the Midianites and the Israelites were genetically close peoples, even more so than the Ishmaelites. Keturah, being a Semitic woman like Abraham, established blood ties between the Ishmaelites and the ancient Israelites. This complex connection highlights the unity and proximity among these peoples descended from Abraham. Another character from the sacred scriptures who was also a descendant of Keturah, a Midianite, was Caleb. His father was an Arab, while his mother was a Jew from the tribe of Judah. Surprisingly, Caleb, Joshua's friend, was Arab through his paternal lineage and Jewish from the tribe of Judah through his maternal lineage. This duality is an intriguing and often overlooked fact for some. Caleb is a character mentioned in the Bible, primarily in the Old Testament. He plays a significant role in the history of the Israelites during the conquest of the Promised Land. The name Caleb means dog in Hebrew. The first mention of Caleb occurs when Moses sends 12 spies, one representative from each tribe of Israel, to explore the land of Canaan before the invasion. Caleb was chosen as the representative spy from the tribe of Judah, Numbers 13:6. The spies returned with mixed reports about the land, with some fearing the presence of powerful enemies, while others, including Caleb, were confident in God's ability to give them the promised land. Caleb's confidence in God is evident in Numbers 14:6-9, where he encourages the people to trust in God and move forward into the land he had promised them. However, the majority of the people were afraid and rebelled against God. As a result, God decided that the generation that left Egypt would not enter the promised land, except for Joshua and Caleb, who remained faithful, Numbers 14:30. Caleb had to wait 40 years in the desert before he could enter the promised land. During this time, he did not lose his faith in God. When the time finally came, Joshua, who had succeeded Moses as the leader of the Israelites, fulfilled God's promise, giving Caleb the inheritance that had been promised to him, Joshua 14 verses 6-14. Another relevant character from the scriptures, also a Midianite, was the sorcerer-necromancer Balaam. Descendant of Keturah and, therefore, of Abraham, Balaam started as a practitioner of occult arts in the land of Moab. He was known as a prophet with the ability to bless or curse. Interestingly, Balaam was summoned by the king of Moab, Balak, who was alarmed by the growing power of the Israelites and feared they posed a threat to his kingdom. On each occasion, however, he was inspired by God to pronounce blessings upon Israel. His words included prophecies about the future greatness and prosperity of Israel. These blessings surprised Balak and highlighted divine intervention in Balaam's speech. Despite his fall due to greed, he later became a prophet of God. This transformation illustrates the complexity of biblical stories. In addition to the Midianites, there are other notable characters in the scriptures. Jethro, a Midianite priest and Moses' father-in-law, was devoted to the Almighty God of Abraham. Job, although not an Israelite, was an Edomite. Another interesting point related to the Midianites is that Moses' wife, Zipporah, daughter of Jethro, was half Midianite and half Cushite, derived from descent from Cush or Ethiopia, while her father was a Midianite, descended from Abraham through Keturah. Upon leaving Egypt, Moses sojourned for 20 years in the land of Midian, where he encountered Jethro, the Midianite priest. Jethro instructed Moses about the Almighty God, showcasing the significant influence of the Midianites in the history of God's people. This is the story of the Midianites or Keturites, descendants of Keturah and Abraham. Thank you for watching until here. Please share our video with friends and family to spread more knowledge of the scriptures. May God bless you. See you soon.